Hey, what's going on, guys? I recently picked up the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 4, so today we're gonna take a look at it. I'm gonna give you a brief overview and some thoughts on the book. Alright, so here is the book with the dust jacket on. As you can see, I went with this cover over the, I think it's one of the annuals that they used. But I just preferred this one. I thought the other one was a little boring. There's the spine. All right, then now we are going to hop into the book. Okay. So we get that nice image right here when we open the book, which, might be a little concerning at first when you take into account that's Wolverine standing over the beaten body of Kitty Pryde, but maybe everything isn't as it seems, as we find out in one of these immediate issues. And then here's a fun image from a later issue where there is a chance bar fight. Here's all the credits, some more Colossus, notes from Chris Claremont. And then boom, we start off with Uncanny X-Men number 176. And it's funny, I was reading this issue and I saw this cover and I thought it was really cool. And then at the end, I guess it was like editorial month or something, they said, assistant editors month, something like that going on at Marvel. And so like these first two issues, there's like little write-ins from the assistant editors or editorial people, whatever it may be. But they asked the readers if they liked this, the X-Men logo breaking. And I think the guy was saying, like, why is Cyclops shooting at the X-Men logo and not the octopus that is attacking him? So it was just interesting. But, I spent way too much time on literally the first page of this, so let's just keep flipping through. So if you're a big Cyclops fan, then I have unfortunate news for you, because he is not featured in this omnibus very much. But if you are not at all a Cyclops fan, like I am, then you will be very happy to hear that Cyclops is almost inexistent in this omnibus. When he first popped up in this first issue, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get like just a huge Cyclops storyline to start us off with no features from the other characters. But nope, it's like just this, Cyclops going on his honeymoon, and then you pretty much don't hear from him until maybe, I don't know, maybe even the Alpha Flight 2-issue limited series that's collected later in this. But he attacks some sea animals. It's not entirely fair. They do attack him first, but But yeah, they're on their honeymoon, and then I think this is the letter I was talking about, where, see, they're sort of discussing what to do with the cover. Because it's Assistant Editors Month, that's what it was. And they just randomly add this at the end of the issue, it's kind of funny. And then here we go, here's where that Wolverine standing over the beaten Kitty Pryde comes from. And I was like, oh, look, they have like a Surgeon's General warning on this. But it is warning, surgeons have generally determined that Assistant Editors Month is dangerous to your health. So it was not actually that. I was fooled. But, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler, as it's sort of immediately revealed in this issue after Mystique kills all the X-Men. This is just, it was not real, and it was just part of the game that Arcade is playing. So, just a simulation, pretty much. This is an omnibus in which Aurora has got her very cool, very 90s punk aesthetic going on. And that's also funny, too, because I know, like, people really like that look, and I like that look, and it's very popular now and very recognizable now. But going back and reading the letter hacks, or are they called letter hacks, or is that what it just was for the Walking Dead? Anyway, reading the letters that people wrote in, people didn't like that look that much. They wanted their sweet Aurora back. But no, she goes through some cool stuff in this omnibus. the Morlocks get involved here. A lot of Kitty Pryde action going on, who, there's something in the back of this as part of the extras where one writer is saying that Kitty Pryde just got so much love, and the reason that they did the Wolverine and Kitty Pryde storyline that was collected in this is because just Kitty Pryde was Chris Claremont's baby. And you get so many, like, Kitty Pryde fake-out deaths in this. I mean, obviously, Kitty Pryde doesn't die right here, but, you know, what did happen to Kitty Pryde? And I'll tell you, it has something to do with the Morlocks, but I'll let you go and discover that yourself. There's an awesome image of Kitty in some torn-up wedding dress. You're probably putting together what did happen. I mean, knowing the Morlocks and knowing what kind of power they have, and knowing what kind of face manipulation some of them can do. You know, a little molding going on there. And knowing that Kitty Pryde had previously made a promise to marry one of the Morlocks. Anyway, I pretty much just gave away that whole thing right there, but it's still a great read. Oh, and something I really enjoyed is in this X-mail, the letters, they have the characters from X-Men actually answering the questions, which was really fun. I like when Wolverine does it. That's pretty fun. This issue was also collected in the New Mutants Omnibus, if it looked familiar to you. I immediately noticed that shot of Charles Xavier with his legs playing b-ball and was like, I've seen that somewhere. And that's where it was. Storm really getting edgy here. You know, if this was going on in like the 2000s, they would have definitely given Storm a Marvel Max series. It'd fit right in. Some great Emma Frost. And then yeah, this is just continued in the New Mutants. So that's, like I said, this is a lead-in issue to a New Mutants story, which is collected in that New Mutants Omnibus Volume 1. Then they go to Tokyo, and they fight a dragon, you know, the typical X-Men stuff. A lot of dragon fightings in the omnibuses I've been reading lately. I think if you've seen my last video, my Iron Man by Dan Slott omnibus, he also fights a dragon. Yeah. And we have this guy Step In, who, if you remember from Uncanny X-Men, that first issue with Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Storm, that one introducing the new team, he popped in there. Seriously, I can't remember his name right now. And then you were like, oh, he's going to stick with them. And then he just did not stay with them because he's obviously he's got his loyalties to Tokyo. This is where the federal bill, the Mutant Affairs Control Act, gets introduced. So then here's Wolverine answering some letters. I always like when they include the letters. It's really fun to read. This omnibus also has a strong, it features Rogue pretty strongly. Sort of developing her further as a character, you know, dealing with her past as being part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Also dealing with some of the fallout from her having absorbed Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel's memories and powers and such. Storm answering some letters. Now here's a great, really fun issue where Colossus has sort of broken Kitty Pryde's heart. So, and there's reasons for that. His reasons, at least. So, you know, as sort of, to teach him a lesson, I guess, Wolverine and Nightcrawler tags along, but Wolverine takes him to this bar, and I guess Wolverine was just going to beat him up, but, you know, happenstance has it that Juggernaut is also at the same bar, just, you know, trying to enjoy some time off. And he ends up, and Wolverine ends up having the two get into a fight where Colossus kind of gets wrecked. And Nightcrawler and Wolverine don't help. And then Wolverine's pretty much just like, I hope you learned your lesson. I'm obviously paraphrasing the moral of it and what it all meant, but it's a fun read. Here's the first appearance of Forge, who also comes into this omnibus, and he's got, I mean, what a first appearance. What a first appearance. Just got to take a second to admire the swagger of Forge. That cane, that leg, those shorts, that popped collar, those stripes, the glove. Wow. I mean, you can understand why Storm would be so amored by him. But anyway, yeah, he introduces that gun. Rachel Summers is in this too. He introduces that gun that can take away mutants' powers for who knows how long. I mean, obviously not permanent, but one of the members of X-Men does get shot with it. And, you know, throughout this omnibus, they lose their powers and they have to deal with that. That is a, you know, it's not, Rogue does get shot with it, but she gets shot with that at a low dosage, so she's not the big one who loses her powers. I think she loses them for just, like, literally 5 minutes. But, so I'll skip through here. There's Forge and Storm. Forge and Storm stuff, which is all, it's really nice. These, this alien race, the Wraiths, pop in here, and they're quite the force to be reckoned with. Pretty terrifying. This gets into some, like, hardcore horror stuff briefly for a few issues here. It's really fun. And there are definitely some normal people, non-mutant casualties that happen here. Always thought this cover was really cool. I think this is also collected in the New Mutants Omnibus. It's where Warlock's father comes and tries to kill him. And yeah, this is where we start the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine series, in which they go to Japan, Tokyo again, I think. And you know, Kitty Pryde does some forced growing up, and Wolverine helps mentor her and overcome some crazy challenges. It's a really good read. I hope one day we get some sort of film adaptation of all this. And we'll skip past this. Here is the last issue that is also collected in the New Mutants Omnibus. It's where Rachel Summers and Amara are shopping in New York, and they have to dress up as maids, and Celine's after them and all that. And the Hellfire Club. Then we get into this like 2 or 3 issue arc with this wizard dude whose name I don't even remember. And this was interesting because it reminded me of WandaVision, because he basically sets up a hex in New York, and when people enter it, see, like, here's like military people entering it, they come out on the other side as like Roman type soldiers, like medieval soldiers, and they don't remember anything about their former lives, and so like all our heroes are thrown into that. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that was like the inspiration, or partially the inspiration for the hex in WandaVision. I lied. This looks familiar from the New Mutants Omnibus too. This also might be in it. This one single issue. Oh, I don't know what the other one was that I was talking about earlier. That's the one where Warlock's dad comes back. And this is just, I mean, this was I don't even know what to say about this. You get Charles Xavier in this omnibus, scantily clad in some Morlock gear, but no, all right, enough said about that. Get some Hellions action in there. Because one of them wants revenge on the X-Men for something tragic that happened early in their career. Here's a great annual where Magic tells this really fun space story where Kitty Pryde is actually Lockheed's pet. So that's just a fun annual. The Adventures of Lockheed the Space Dragon and his pet girl, Kitty. And I really like Illyana Rasputin. She's such a well-written character in the New Mutants and these X-Men books I'm reading. I'm really falling for that character. She's great. Then we get X-Men and Alpha Flight. Some God action going on there. Kind of the first I've read of Alpha Flight, really. I haven't read like their introductions into the X-Men comics before. So it was interesting just to learn at least a baseline about them. And then you get this little storm, a few pages from something for her. Then here are the extras in the back. And that's pretty much the omnibus. Some interviews and stuff. Alright, so thank you for watching. I have a Wolverine omnibus I've got to read right now. And then I also just today got the X-Men Inferno omnibus in, so expect videos on both those in the future.